Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow. And in today's video, a little bit different. We're doing a bit of an overview of what's going on with all of this stuff, what's going on with our 12-volt box, because it's looking a little bit empty there at the moment. And if anything, I want to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek on something I've been working on. We're continuing the touring, the D-MAX overlanding build, whatever you want to call it, but getting this thing all kitted out for some bigger trips. And the 12-volt and storage side of things has been on my mind. And I've been working on building out a solution that kind of combines both of these things. So to set the scene a little bit on why I'm going in this direction in the first place, a couple of things. The battery box that was living down there, this guy, worked excellent. It was excellent having the switches on the front, solar inputs, charging via the BCDC, all of the above was cool. It was cool to be able to remove. A couple of downsides being, I lost a lot of length and it kind of took up the whole side. So if I was putting anything long in the tub for camping and trips and what have you, I lost a bit there. And the other main reason was storage and sort of semi-permanent storage, because I didn't want to have a full drawer set up in there, because as you've seen, I still want to use this for ute stuff, right? Like I still want to use the full tub, but I wanted to have something that similar to what I had in my previous Jeep build, where I had a whole bunch of storage that was in little bins down the sides ideally, that I could permanently store snatch straps, you know, little hatchet and little shovels and that sort of stuff, ideally in one. And the other side, I could have sort of the rando stop stuff. So I could have a little coffee maker in there. I could have some bowls, cups and plates and a little burner, so I could, you know, stop and have a bit of a cook up. So for the last couple of months, I've been working through a few different prototypes, and this is where I'm up to now. And this is a storage solution that gives you a couple of bins that will sit down the side of the tub, and more importantly, use the full length. I've seen some versions here before, but the problem is they kind of waste all of the space that sits in and over our arches. So I thought, well, how do we combat that? And I figured we combat that by making a box that has a little cutout for it. This is sort of version 3 of the prototype, and it's the full prototype ready to go here now. These are modular, so they all bolt together just a little bit like this. We've got a bunch of tie-ins. I've got one here in plain and the other one I've Raptor lined the heck out of just to get a bit of a feel. I've just used some of Raptor's new, basically Raptor coating in a can, which has been excellent. So I've coated one of them, hence our black and white versions here. But the idea is that both of these will sit down the side, all connected. And the idea is you could just use one of these. You could use two of them just like this. Or, like I'm going to be doing, be bolting this guy to the whole lot as well, so it forms that singular unit that sits fully down the side. What I might do is I'll put it in there, put it down the side, and show you what I mean. And here we go. Now, you're going to have to use your imagination here a little bit, because we are at that final prototype, but you're kind of getting the idea, hopefully, of what I'm talking about here. I wanted to keep most of the tub full length, still ready to go, and still have some storage that I can still get to from over the top here. Obviously we've got a bit going on at the top here, which isn't a permanent thing, but we can still access our storage bins. We can still have our full 12-volt stuff permanently in there, and we've got access to both of our bins that we can get to from the sides when this is chock-a-block. So if you imagine that being chock-a-block full of camping gear, all that kind of thing, it's difficult to access all your gear, and I hated going rummaging. So this is the cool thing with this, is I can still get to the stuff that I want to be able to get to without needing to unpack the world to get into anything that is a common use item. The other thing I really wanted to improve was sort of the ergonomics, I guess you could say, of the access to 12-volt and bits and bobs when I'm out camping. Normally my standard setup is I use the tailgate here and the sort of the chopping board surface. I have the cooker on one side, your bits and bobs, and I wanted easier access to be able to get to 12-volt plugs, charging stations, light switches, all of the above. And what this is going to enable is for exactly that. We're going to have a bit of a control panel that can sit in here. So that way, if you imagine you've got your 12-volt plugs, your switches, everything on there, it's nice and easy. You don't have to do any stretching or reaching for cabling. It's right there to plug in, you know, chargers or access to switches. We'll be able to have a readout for what's going on in our battery, air compressor, connections, and even water in the future. So that is kind of the whole idea with that. Now I'm calling this setup Store Mod for modular storage for the back of your ute, and I am investigating whether I can get this made in a more professional way. So if you're interested in something like this, go to VideoShowMeHow.com and register your interest. I'm just at the moment testing the water. I've had a lot of you guys asking about what I've been sort of up to here in the back. So if you're interested in something like this, or you want to see how it evolves, head over to the website and register your interest if you would be interested in something like this if I had these made.